So why are interest rates going up? Nick Gurry here from One Network Broking. So interest rates are increasing effectively because of the underlying challenge of inflation. So what is inflation? So today I'm going to give you my version of what inflation means. And in order to do that, in today's story, we're going to take our humble cup of coffee. Now ordinarily, I would purchase 1 cup of coffee per day. However, when times feel a bit better or I've got a bit more cash, I'm probably likely to purchase a second or even a third cup of coffee during the day, which is fine. However, what that does though, that then puts pressure on the barista and the cafe owner to supply more coffee, which in turn means they need more coffee beans, which means down the line more coffee beans need to be roasted, which means more work needs to be done in order to harvest those beans, to be roasted, to be supplied to make my coffee, which again is fine. However, what I've done is I've created demand down the supply chain. So naturally, in order to cope with that demand, sometimes to even try and counter the demand, the price along that whole supply chain is going to increase and eventually make its way into my coffee price. So then why would the Reserve Bank make me pay more on my mortgage by increasing my interest rate when the price of my coffee has already gone up? Well, that's because what the Reserve Bank is trying to do, and its most powerful lever it has, is by making me pay more on my mortgage. It's not wanting me to pay more on my mortgage and on my coffee. In fact, it's the opposite. It wants me to pay a little bit more on my mortgage. So rather than buying that second and third cup of coffee, I'm effectively using that same money to pay my mortgage. So the Reserve Bank is actually trying to divert the cash I'm spending here into my mortgage, which as we know is a valuable, sensible asset. It's not actually wanting me to pay more on anything. What it's trying to do is divert the cash here, which eases all the pressure across your supply chain because lowered the demand on the coffee. So if the demand on my coffee is lowered, then the price of that coffee effectively reduces. And if we get it right, when my coffee reduces, then eventually the Reserve Bank can ease and reduce my interest rate again. So it's all about balance. So the inflation causes the Reserve Bank to try and control my spending to actually balance both out. Now, sometimes when we enter this phase though, we don't want to give up the 2 or 3 coffees a day. We have to pay our mortgage. So we'll lean on old mate here, our credit card, which is fine. But if you feel like that's getting a little bit too much, or you haven't quite been able to reduce your coffee intake and your card is starting to stack up a little bit, then you need to speak to me. Because I do 2 things. I look at where your interest rate is at, make sure the bank's playing fair, and we can even do things like consolidating credit cards, easing your monthly repayments into one simple repayment, producing more cash flow so you can actually go out and spend it comfortably on the essential costs of living. Thanks guys, and please be in touch.